right, this is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with Kite Flying Katrina.
Oh, okay.
And we got Juggling Joel.
Hey guys, what's up?
We're a circus today.
And yeah, apparently so.
Yeah, so I couldn't think of anything that would actually go with the topic.
Yeah,
So
I don't think
there we
kite
go.
flying is overrated. It's
Yeah,
actually pretty nice.
yeah.
I
Maybe
think
juggling.
Yeah.
Juggling's pretty, like,
Pretty
yeah. And
Yeah.
you gotta be skilled for that.
Yeah, so we're doing the opposite day.
Yeah.
Because today we're going to talk about overrated horror films, and we have a special guest, the world champion of YouTube horror movie reviews. We've got Cody Leach.
I don't know if I have the belt or not, but I'll take it.
We'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So, Cody, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about your channel?
Yeah, so I started off just kind of talking about movies, started to have a big focus in horror back in 2016, was able to go full-time in 2021, and now I've kind of branched off and I talk about all genres. I still keep that focus on horror. I'm still a horror fan at heart, but yeah, if you like movies in general, you want to know about all the new releases, maybe even some few older hidden gems and stuff when I get time to do that, just come over to the channel there. And then I've really started to ramp up TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that lately too. So if you're into short form stuff, that's where most of that lies.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that. That's
Mhm.
pretty cool. Little clips. All right, awesome. Well, we are fans. We've been watching you for a long time.
Appreciate it.
And yeah, so we're excited to have you on to talk about overrated horror films. Before we get into it, though, please subscribe to our channel and to Cody's channel.
Yep.
And if you want some extra content from us, patreon.com/scaretalk is where you can go. We talk about spoilers for all of our reviews, and we do some exclusive content, and you get early access to all our episodes over there. All right. So should we get into it?
Yes,
You guys
we
ready?
should.
Do
Okay,
it.
cool. Let's start with the guest. Cody, actually,
Yeah.
Before we get
Any
started.
honorables,
Yeah.
or
Let's
are we?
before we get started, let's talk about overrated.
lay
What
some
we
ground
mean
rules.
by overrated. So when I think of overrated, I think of people talk about it, people love it, and I'm like, it's not that great, like you guys make it out to be. So that's kind of how I was thinking of my list.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Katrina, I know you kind of look at it a little differently.
Well, not differently, just the whole, like, when you're in the horror world, you hear a lot of talk about different things, but I'm thinking, like, in general, anyone who's like, you say you like horror and they're like, oh yeah, I love this, and it's like, okay, really, like, that's
Yeah.
just the one that everyone says they like, like
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, that's overrated because
Right.
that's just everyone's go-to kind
Right.
of thing.
Right. Okay.
And if it has way too much merch, we'll get into that.
Yeah. Spirit Halloween is opening up everywhere, so
Yay.
you'll see all that merch out there.
Mhm.
You guys have similar ideas of overrated?
Oh yeah, yeah. If the majority likes something, like really likes it, and I'm just like, you're blowing it way out of proportion.
Yeah.
It's overrated. I just noticed that I have 2 honorable mentions and 4. So
Oh, okay.
Oh, so maybe you
I
only
thought I
have
had
one
5. So I'm gonna move one of them up to my list.
Okay.
That had honorable. So
There
my
we go.
math was a little off there.
Cody,
Yep.
is there anything you'd add to overrated?
Yeah, I mean, for me, overrated it's more of a conversation on how movie fans take something more so than the film itself, more times than not.
Yeah.
You're kind of
Yeah.
commentating on the popular opinion, and so it doesn't, like, I think people misinterpret when you say something's overrated to mean that you're saying it sucks, and
Right.
I don't think that that's accurate. Like, on my list, one of the 5 films I actually love, but I think it's highly overrated. So to me, it's pretty simple of, like, wherever the popular opinion is, if I think it falls a good bit below that, then it's overrated to me.
Yeah. Cool. All right. We got
All
that
right.
out of the way.
Okay.
All right. So let's start. Do you have any honorable mentions, Cody?
I don't.
Otherwise, we can just go right into number 5.
I mean, yeah, I just 5.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Let's start it off.
All right, so we're going to start off with the big one then. So it's number 5 because it is a film that I do love, but part of it's because of my experience with the fan base. Part of it's because I just think it's a movie that's great, but there's a lot of people out there that act like it's God's gift to cinema. There's no other film that's ever come within the pantheon of this.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's Halloween. I
Yeah.
grew up. I
had
grew
a
up on
feeling.
John Carpenter's Halloween. I love it. It's a classic. It started a great franchise. Like, I don't really have major negatives to throw against it, aside from it being a little bit dated. To modern standards, it's a little bit light on, you know, what we expect from slashers nowadays, which is fine. That's what happens when you have a classic film. But you have a lot of people in the Halloween fan base that act like there's John Carpenter's Halloween, and then there's like 30 feet of shit, and then that's every other great movie that's ever been created. And it's like,
Yeah.
guys. And so it's a movie that I've kind of gotten exhausted with since talking about movies online. Where, I mean, for around 2017 to 2020 was when it was the worst, where, like, if you're having a conversation about great horror films and someone's like, you know, I really love Halloween, and somebody just like jumps over you and starts screaming that, and it's just like there's no other horror films that belong in that conversation. And for me, that's just way too much for what this movie is. Like, again, it's a classic, it's great. If you say that's the best John Carpenter film, I would disagree with you, but I would understand where you're coming from. But for the amount of craziness that I've personally seen from the fan base, I'm like, it's not worth anything close to that.
Yeah.
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 Yep. Yep.
It's my favorite, but I totally understand that. It's you know, it's my favorite horror film. It's not my favorite movie. And yeah, it's pretty ridiculous how people treat it. Yeah.
Or if
especially
you
when
point
you're-
out anything about, like, anything that you even think is like a flaw in the film or a way that it's dated, it's like sacrilege, and it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
no criticism. You
Yeah.
can't say anything.
Yes. And we will talk more about that film as we
So
go
may or may not be on
on.
someone else's.
Classic. The
So,
husband's
I
favorite
will
film, and
say-
the wife, like, let's take this down a peg.
So I'll say I will add my commentary
Okay.
soon enough.
If my wife was on this podcast, she'd be like, number 1, John Carpenter's The Thing. What now?
All right,
Okay.
let's go, Katrina.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Hellraiser.
Okay.
And I have it at number 5 because I haven't seen all the movies. I am going off of the entire franchise as a whole. But for this one, I'm only going off of the one I've seen,
Yeah.
the first one. And the thing is I feel like Pinhead, like, is like, oh yeah, like people love this Pinhead guy, and it's like he's barely in the movie, like,
Yeah.
and he's not the creepiest part of the movie. Like,
Mhm.
It's like a good image, but it's like that movie was way crazier in other ways, and Pinhead's the one who gets all the attention for it. It's
Yeah.
like,
He's on the cover and
It's-
everything.
yeah, I just like, dude, like, did you watch the movie? Like, there's way worse things in that movie.
Yeah, Frank.
So-
I like Frank in that movie. He's more of the horror, I think. His whole regeneration.
Yeah, he's the one in
Yeah.
like the basement, and
Yeah.
oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, so that's my biggest reason why I feel like it's overrated, because like people who are just like obsessed with Pinhead, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know that you even saw the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that you really understand.
Is he in more of like the other films, Cody? I know you've gone through all of them.
Not really.
No.
I mean,
Okay.
no, you get maybe a little bit more in the second film. The third film, I think, is the most of what you would expect, where the Cenobites are kind of the star of the show and the big villains and everything. But no, for the most part, he's always like a guest star in his own franchise, and it kind of gets worse as it goes along. Everything after 5, until you hit the remake, really, it feels like, and for oftentimes this was the case, where it was literally just like some script sitting around and a producer said, all right, put Pinhead on page 90, 112, and 161. Shoot. And that's basically what it is. It's some detective story that all of a sudden he pops up. So no, I would agree with you. I've seen all the Hellraiser films. I think as a whole, the franchise isn't as bad as people make it out to be, but it's certainly not good. But when you go back to the ones that is the popular opinion, which is either one of the first two of which one is the best, I'm not crazy about either of them either. You know, I think the first one's an interesting idea. There's some great practical effects in it, especially with the regeneration and everything, like the reverse melting. But yeah, I've never found that to be a horror classic. I think it's very weird how, as you were saying, Pinhead has like got this icon status when he's barely present in the franchise. Like if you weren't a Hellraiser, if you've never seen the movies before, you look at the cover, you have an idea what the movie's going to be. It's like Halloween, but this guy's the Michael Myers, and it's anything but that.
And that's where it's like, I feel like growing up like in the 90s, like Pinhead was like, oh my, and it's like
it's
weird.
You think, you know, he's like a slasher too. He's not. It's not part of the film, really.
Just in the third one. The third one, honestly, is the only one that feels like the movie everybody thinks Hellraiser is. Which is
okay, well, then I need to watch the third one because this is just based off of my watching the first one, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, so.
All right, cool. Let's go with you, Joel. What's next?
All right, so my number 5 was originally a honorable mention, so I just bumped it up one, and that is Get Out. Now, I love this movie. I think it's a good movie. However, when this movie came out, people were losing their minds over this movie, and they were losing their minds over Jordan Peele already being on like the Mount Rushmore of horror directors, and it's like, you guys need to calm down. He's made 3 movies now, and he still, to me, has only made 1 good movie, so he's still not anywhere near.
Only one. Okay.
Get Out was his. I didn't like the other 2, like pretty much at all. I will always watch a Jordan Peele movie because I think he is good at what he does. He's just not. He's the movie is overrated because people are just like worshiping Jordan Peele when this movie came out. So Get Out is.
I can appreciate that. I think I like it a lot, but it was nominated. It was nominated for Academy Awards. I think part of the appeal was, he was known for comedy stuff, his sketches and everything. So then it was like, how is this guy going to make a horror film? And then he did, and it was, it had the social commentary and all that. That's always going to get a little more attention. Brand new director. So, but that doesn't mean that it needs to have all that, I don't think that those things are warranted the like praise that it got. So
that was a weird thing to be there for because for 2 different reasons. One, I remember very much, that movie came out and there's people like, are we ready to admit that Jordan Peele is up there with John Carpenter? And it's like, bitch, you made 1 movie. So there was that, and there's I think that talk has quieted quite a bit, but I'm with you. I like Nope, but to me he's only made 1 great film so far, and I think that him as a filmmaker, he's very overrated because he has this tendency to be very metaphorical with his storytelling, and his metaphor, with the exception of Get Out, his metaphor always overextends and the logic is just gone from whatever the surface of a story is, in my opinion. So I hope he reins that in at some point. But with Get Out, as you were saying, with the social commentary, that was right around the time when suddenly horror started to get that like elevated horror thing. And it's such a weird thing to be there for, where people are like, oh my God, horror can like have things to say about society and everything. And we're like, Yeah, it's been that way since the 70s or the 60s. Like, where have you been?
Yeah,
it's always weird for me to like. I understand what the category of elevated horror means. I know people hate that term, but I think it's weird that there's like some kind of misunderstanding that suddenly in the 2010s horror figured out how to say something, or how to have strong female leads or something like that. And it's like, okay, all you other genres are the one that need a little help. Like, we've been fine the whole time.
Yeah. It's always been there. But yeah, I think having this brand new director, everybody knew, and so then it like brought it to the forefront, and then a lot of other films that people got looked for that in other films, and then other directors were like, let's bring that commentary to the extreme now, so that I can be in that group. That's A24 was responsible for a lot of that.
They're responsible.
And now we're in the trauma era. It's like, what story do you have about trauma?
Yes.
All right, so for me, speaking of A24, we're gonna go with Midsommar, whatever you want to call it.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah,
word Midsommar.
Exactly. I am due for a rewatch on this. I've only seen it once, but when I did see it, it was hyped up because it was Ari Aster's follow-up to Hereditary, which I love. I love Hereditary. I think it's very well done and actually pretty scary. But this movie is exactly what I thought it was going to be. There's nothing really too special about it. Maybe the like cinematography and some of the like images with the dude like just dropping off a cliff, that was pretty intense. And then some of just the weird stuff, I guess, is what it's known for. But going into the movie, it's like, okay, you go to this like little village during this like celebration, and it's like culty, and then that's exactly what happens. It's like culty, and I've seen that film a million times, So there was nothing real surprising about it and then people loved it after, it was like, because we saw it like opening weekend, and it had hype already, and then it just continued, and I was like, okay, like I thought it was fine. Like it wasn't anything like that I wasn't expecting, but you guys are getting really excited about it. And Ari Aster's made a number of other films too that is just, I don't know, not my thing. Hereditary will probably, unless he changes up what he's doing, be his best, because I don't think anything is going to touch. But yeah, so Midsommar, whatever you want to call it.
We'll revisit this shortly.
Oh, beautiful. All right, so Cody, number 4.
All right, number 4 for me. This is the movie that I'm most due for a rewatch, but it's always been in this category for me, and that's The Ring. Now, I've never seen the original. Was it Ringu? I've never seen the original to be able to compare it, but The Ring came out when I was in junior high. And this was the horror movie of that era where like everybody was going to see it. Every single girl in school said it was the scariest thing they've ever seen. It was like this, generation defining horror film. Even to this day, you ask people who are my age, like, what's the movie that got you into horror? And if you weren't like a 4-year-old psycho like me watching Chucky, they're like, oh, The Ring. And like the movie's fine. Again, maybe if I rewatched it right now, I would think it was a little bit better, but I just never found it to be anywhere near what the popular perception of it was. I never found it to be all that scary. I never thought the ending was all that shocking, where it's always on like craziest endings of all time lists with the girl coming out of the TV. I think the movie's a little bit slow in the middle. Interesting mystery, but definitely a little bit slow. I think I've never seen The Ring 2 to know if they answer more questions, but I remember at the time, at least as a kid, I was like, I want to know more about what's going on here. And they just kind of leave you, which sometimes can be great. And again, maybe as an adult, I'd appreciate that. But mostly it's the scary thing. Like, whenever I had everybody and their mother telling me this was the scariest movie they've ever seen, and I was kind of the horror guy that of the time, where I'm like, I know all the horror movies. You guys just watch what everybody tells you to watch. And I went to go see it, and I was like,
yeah,
no, no, not really that. So yeah, I'll throw it on the list for that.
That may or may not be talked about later too.
Okay. Well, and I
discussed here.
Yeah, and I had discussed this movie as being possibly on my list, but I can never remember if I've even seen the darn movie. He's always like, "You have seen the movie," and I'm like, I don't know if I have. Like, that's how
unmemorable,
uneventful it is. Like, it's like you remember the one scene of her walking out of the TV and the well thing,
the tape.
And then you're like, okay, I guess maybe I've seen it.
Yeah. I have very distinct memories of renting it because I remember thinking I was crazy. And so I wanted to watch it with my dad, who was always kind of my litmus test as a kid of whether something was good or bad. And so I watched it with him. He's watching the movie and I'm like watching him. And so, like, and he gets to the end of the movie. He's like, and I'm like, I knew it wasn't me. Shit sucks.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had a similar experience with seeing it in theaters. I think it was way overhyped at the time. But as an adult, having watched it just a few years ago with you that you don't remember, I liked it a lot more as an adult. That not so much for the horror, but for like the story. I think the acting is very, very well done. And the tape and stuff is kind of creepy, and so it is better as an adult, I thought. So maybe a rewatch would be good, because
I'm sure
I was
it would
thinking
be.
about it. Yeah, I was thinking about putting it on my list too, but I was like, that was more back when I was like a freshman. I was like, yeah, this is not scary at all. Yeah. And same thing with The Grudge. Had the same experience with that. But as an adult, I haven't rewatched The Grudge, but the Ring for sure. I was like, actually pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and what I always hear is just that the original versions, the Japanese versions, are the ones that are actually scary.
Yeah,
like
that's what I hear.
Ones. So,
all right, Katrina.
Number 4 is Halloween.
You got to specify because there's 3 of them.
So this is the thing. So I am going with the entire franchise. First of all, the franchise of Halloween. Michael
Myers
lost
a lot of subscribers.
Yeah,
see
Michael Myers is a little overrated. He even fell over here. We partly overrated because he's overrated in our house in general.
Your fault.
I have to include the whole franchise because I have to include Halloween 2. The amount of merchandise for Halloween 2 specifically is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, if you go to Spirit a lot, there's like almost just as much Halloween 2 merchandise as Halloween.
No, more. There is more. Like, if you start paying attention, and like all, not just Spirit, but like all throughout, like anywhere that you go, everywhere that you go, when you look at a Halloween thing, you're like, if you look at the tag, it's Halloween 2.
Yeah,
we really have weird. So much fun just like watching, like looking at different merch, and we're like, Halloween 2.
So weird.
It's like, where does this come from? But really, in all seriousness, Michael Myers and the Halloween movie, it's not like, I don't know, it's just like, it has the good fall feel and all that. That's great. That's what you love. But it's like, there's so many other great movies out there, and like even more classic movies that to me do such a better job. And Michael Myers is just boring. It's like, he just walks around. Like,
I can see that if you think he's boring, but I just think he looks awesome. and I think the way he walks around is he's just there's a certain way that he walks.
I know, but I don't know.
And then the theme and everything. Oh my
he's
gosh,
just
the
a little
score
much.
is amazing.
And I agree with Cody though, like the crowd that like worships Halloween, and then if you say anything that you don't like, it's like,
yeah, I'm not part of that.
Didn't even like horror. And it's like, do you? Like, so
all right,
there we go.
All right, let's move on. Joel, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is a new one, which is why it's number 4 on my list. It might go up higher as the years go on, but it came out this year, and that is The Monkey. When this movie came out, I remember there was so much hype around this movie, and people were saying like how much they loved it and everything. And I gotta be honest, is besides the gore, like that's to me all that it's got going for it. Like it was not funny. It was more of a parody of itself than an actual like horror comedy. And yeah, the amount of people that were like talking about how much they love this movie, it was kind of at least from what I was hearing, was a little skewed a little bit, like a little yeah.
So this is where if you're in the community, you can feel that way, I guess. But if you're just a regular general
You're one of those little normie peasants.
If you're a general, that's what I meant to say. Audience, you might not know that people were really liking that movie. You know, you might be like, that's kind of a strange movie. Check it out. Oh, it was okay. You know, but I do agree with you. Within the horror community, I think it's overhyped. Mike from We Watched a Movie, I watched that guy pretty often. He freaking loved that movie, and I don't know. Me and you both didn't really like it. So
no, it lost. There was a specific moment in that movie that just completely lost me. It turned from a horror comedy to a horror parody when you see like they're wheeling out the dead woman outside, and there's the cheerleaders just like cheering for her. It's like this is not anything. Like this is not funny. This is like I don't know what happened here, but no, it's like this is something that Scary Movie would do, not not the monkey parroting itself. That's just crazy. So I don't know.
All right,
all right.
That shows you how different things can be depending on what pockets of the community you tend to kind of experience things with too. Because my experience with like the general perception of that movie was like, there was people that loved it, people that really hated it, a lot of people in the middle that were like, yeah, it's good, but whatever. And so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Depends on what you're seeing, you know. And like social media ads and stuff, you know. If it's like, man, can't get away from the monkey. Then
I think the horror community tends to get very overexcited too when there seems to be like a new voice in horror. Like Osgood Perkins came out with Long Legs, and all of a sudden, whatever he made next, as long as it wasn't an absolute dumpster fire, it was going to get this huge inflation. So we talked about Jordan Peele, Ari Aster. I think they're both kind of victims of that too.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, you can't come out with like your best film at the very beginning
right away. All right. So for me, this one I actually want to see tomorrow. There's a 50th anniversary showing, so I think I'm gonna go see it in theaters. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, or not the beginning, the original. I did not grow up with this. I didn't watch it when I was younger. I actually watched it for the first time like 5 years ago, probably, and absolutely hated it. I thought it was just, I just didn't like it, especially the end, that whole dinner scene. I was like super annoyed. I didn't think it was scary. I didn't think it was unsettling or disturbing or anything. It was just screaming back and forth, and I was absolutely annoyed with that scene. So, and that's like one of the big like selling points of that movie is that scene. And I'm like, no, not for me.
So now you want to see that scene on the big screen.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna be even more annoyed.
So there's more to the story. I saw it again because we reviewed the franchise. And I did appreciate it a little more. And I was like, yeah, and not so much that scene. I didn't really appreciate that scene much more, but the movie overall. I kind of appreciated the tone they were going for, the realism that they were going for. You know, I kind of got it. And I got kind of also Rob Zombie a little bit more because he's heavily influenced by that film. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, maybe I can get on board slightly. So I do want to see it in theaters to see if I like it even more. But it is hailed. I mean, besides The Exorcist, I think a lot of people would say this is like one of the scariest movies ever. And I don't think I can ever get there for sure. So it is an original. It is 50 years in the making, of course. So that's why it's not high on my list, but I can't unlike remember that first time watching it and thinking, man, this is horrible. So
yeah. I have an interesting relationship with that film too. I saw the remake in theaters in was it 2000?
Oh yeah, love that.
And that was my first Texas Chainsaw film, and it was like to this day I think that's the scariest movie experience I've ever had. Obviously, the film it doesn't feel like it's that scary 20 years later, but at the time we saw it in theaters in the dark in the middle of the afternoon on a Sunday with like 2 other people in the theater. It was terrifying. Yeah. And so I could not wait to go and buy the DVD for the original and finally like, oh, I'm going to see the classic. And I'm looking at it through the lens of the remake. Okay, so it's this story, these characters, but in 1974, whenever the original came out. And I watched the original and it was just like, huh. Yeah. And I did not get it. And for years I was just like, yeah, okay, that not for me. And I tried rewatching it numerous times, and slowly it's like, okay, I kind of understand that. I get a little bit more. You try to put yourself in the mindset of, okay, this was 40 years ago. What would I think then? And you appreciate it a little bit more. But I was with you for the longest time. I was like, this is kind of an exhausting movie, and not in like the good way that people tend to remember it for. For me, it's like frustrating. It wasn't until I started playing the video game that came out a few years ago and loved the game, even though I'm not really a multiplayer guy. For some reason, that one works. That I watched the movie after getting into the game, and suddenly I'm like, I think I get it. Like the movie's not your traditional movie where it's like, here's characters, here's a story, here's a 3-act structure. Like, it's just kind of an experience. It's just like, here's your descent into hell. And so when I watch it through that lens, it's not a movie I want to rewatch very often. And it, like you, it's never going to be a list of my favorites. It's never going to be like the scariest movie to me, but I appreciate it more kind of putting that lens on and looking at it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you. I guess you had to be there to totally understand the appeal. And for me, I've started to get it all these years later.
Yeah, the remake, seeing that in theaters, same thing for me. That was the scariest and theater experience, but also it was the first one I saw. Yeah. So same exact situation, and I think I saw it on Halloween night, pretty sure. So that was even a little extra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's one of my favorites of all time. Like
same.
And that's strange that the original was like, no.
Yeah.
So really, really interesting how that worked out.
Well, that's probably like the scariest one of,
depending on who you talk to.
Well, yeah.
That one is crazy.
If you were there for the original, you probably had like the most like intense and just scary experience too. But I am with you. I did watch that one years later after watching the remake, and it's weird because it's one of those that you don't really see any gore, but it's like it feels like a like just gritty and like grimy and just like gory type of movie. Even though you don't actually see anyone die in that movie. It's kind of a weird thing about that movie because you know, you think of gore when you think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's, you know, massacre is in the title. Yeah. But you don't really ever see it. You don't technically see a massacre in these movies until the Netflix movie.
Yep.
That's the first actual massacre that we ever see.
All right.
Okay.
Cody, number 3.
Number 3 is Midsommar.
Right.
So I'm with you. I really like Hereditary. I thought it was very exciting when that movie came out. Like, ooh, what's this guy going to do? And then you get to a second film, and I'm like, is he a one-trick pony? Because this is kind of the same type of stuff, but not nearly as good. I have rewatched it recently. We covered it in 31 on 31. Was it last year? I think it was last year. And it didn't really improve for me. Now, I do think it's beautifully shot. I think there's some really creative stuff with some of the images. I mean, there's literally a shot where in the trees, it kind of makes the shape of Florence Pugh's sister with that little gas mask on. And so like all these little hidden details in the movie where you're like, damn, that's really cool. Like you could watch it 100 times and never see it. I think that Florence Pugh's performance is great. This is what I was introduced to her. So she's incredible in this. Definitely got some eerie moments. So the movie's not without its merit, but yeah, when it came out, it was like, you know, Hereditary again with the level of like, oh my God, this is a new horror classic. And I found it to be overly long, very self-indulgent. I think the movie is incredibly slow paced and not in a good way. I think that the storytelling device of always showing almost like a hint of where things are going to go with these cloths where they kind of like have stitchings of what's about to happen. Like it totally took away any of the anticipation or mystery because it's like, oh, I guess that's going to happen. And then it does. Yeah. So that was just a weird choice for me. And I find the movie's messaging to be incredibly muddled where, you know, you have a third act, spoiler alert, where the boyfriend character who is not a great guy, but he's not a bad guy either. And he gets this horrific fate. And it's all because of him being drugged and sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
And the movie ends in a spot where it's almost like a victory for Florence Pugh that she's finally escaped this, you know, horrid boyfriend or whatever. And the whole movie, it's like they were both not good for each other. He was trying to find a way to break up with her and stayed with her because she had this horrifically, you know, grief-stricken experience for the benefit of her. And it's like, aside from him being a little bit of a douche to his friend trying to take his thesis or whatever, like there's not really much there I've ever thought that's like, oh, this guy's just an asshole. He deserves to die.
Yeah.
And you get to the end of the film and I'm like, I don't understand what you're trying to say here. And, you know, I've said this before and people have had pushback saying like, if you misunderstand the film, it's on you. And I'm like, if the film is not clear with its message and you have so many people saying, why is this guy dead? Why am I supposed to be happy about this? And then I think that's the movie's fault. If it's that amount of people that are confused on what the movie's saying. So yeah, I could go on for a lot longer on Midsommar, but I agree with everything you said. It's just, it's just a very confusing movie to me. And I find Ari Aster to be a guy like 4 movies in now where it's just like, okay, I really think he just does not make movies for me. He did one and then now it's like every time he comes out with one, like I'm going to do a COVID Western.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eddington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen that. I do kind of want to watch that one. That looks interesting, but
I like it more. I like it more than I do Beau is Afraid. I don't know if I could say I like it more than Midsommar or not, but it's interesting. It wasn't.
It didn't get a lot of hype though. It didn't.
No, I was expecting when I saw it. I was like, oh, I can't talk about this fucking movie because I thought it was just going to be like a lightning rod for the worst conversation, and then nobody was talking about it. And I'm like, what? What happened to Beau is Afraid, where I said it was awful and everybody wanted to like burn me at the stake? So it was, not an Ari Aster guy. Yeah, that's the thesis there.
Okay, cool. Katrina.
Me, number 3. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm realizing that I put all old movies, like to me it's overrated if it's held its overratedness for a certain amount of time.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And so, like, when Joel mentioned some newer ones, I'm like, oh, I probably should have said this. But then I'm like, no, I'm going to stick with my how long has it been overrated?
Stick with your list.
So for me, number 3 is Beetlejuice. I hate Beetlejuice.
Wow.
And I do not
I think it's on the wrong list.
I don't understand the following that it has. Like, I don't understand why people think it is so, like, over the top amazing. And, like, you know, Spirit Halloween, like, so many Beetlejuice things. I think part of it is just because the look, you know, like it has good color and whatever, and so it goes well with like a look. But I have tried rewatching this movie. It is not fun to watch at all. It is not funny. It is gross and disgusting, and I can't stand Michael Keaton. And
in that movie.
In that movie, I don't know the guy, but but in that movie, he is disgusting, and I can't stand watching that movie.
Isn't he like a demon? That's the whole point. You're not. You're not supposed to like the guy.
It's too. And people love Beetlejuice, and like, oh my gosh, I don't get it. I don't.
I think people mostly love Tim Burton. And he just happened to like Beetlejuice.
I am not a Tim Burton fan.
Me either.
So it goes right along with it.
But I like Beetlejuice.
No. I like Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
That's my one Tim Burton movie that I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like Mars Attacks. That's a fun one.
All right.
And I like Frankenweenie.
So. There we go. We talk what Tim Burton.
Nobody mentioned Batman. All right,
yeah. Those first two were pretty cool for what they were.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
That was the hot take of the day.
Yeah. All right. Mine was mentioned earlier. It was The Ring. Same reasons as you, Cody. It has been years since I've seen it, so I probably do need to rewatch it as well. But people were talking about how this is like the scariest movie, at least of that year. I don't know what people were saying of all time, but at least, you know, of the year that movie came out. And I mean, I don't remember what else came out that year, so maybe it was. But I just, no, it was not, it was fine. I don't hate the movie, but it definitely was overhyped for sure. So
I have an idea of what else might be on your list, Joel, based on those comments.
Yeah.
Based on comments.
I think I might know.
I did mention that there's one that Katrina will probably
I think I might know.
I haven't mentioned yet, so see.
All right.
It's up high.
Yeah.
Golly.
It might even be my next one. Who knows? So yeah, so I mean I can't really add too much more from what Cody said. It's pretty much the same reasons. It's just it's definitely overrated.
Okay. For me, my next one, House of a Thousand Corpses. I can't get into it at all. I think that first scene was good. I really like that opening scene. And then maybe the next part with Captain Spaulding at his little shop there. That part was kind of fun. But after that, it's just a like dreadful movie. I have no entertainment watching that movie. And I felt the same way about Devil's Rejects as well. I actually walked out of the theater in that. It was just too over the top, just victimizing people for no reason. And I was like, I don't need to watch this. I've since kind of appreciated that one a little more, but I've never been able to get into House of a Thousand Corpses. And I don't think I'm that big of a Rob Zombie fan.
I can tell you you're not.
So that can, just his style is just kind of not my thing. The whole redneck white trash dialogue especially is just like, why do you want to listen to these people talk? I can't stand it. And it's so stereotypical too. And it's every movie that he does pretty much. I can't remember Lords of Salem very well. I don't know if that has all that dialogue in there. And the Munsters, I guess, didn't have it either. But but man, yeah, it's just a gross movie. And I don't think I've actually gone through the entire movie. I've tried to watch it probably 4 or 5 times trying to figure out why people like this movie and can't do it.
I feel like more people talk about Devil's Rejects than do House of a Thousand Corpses as far as like on that list of good movies. But
well, then either way, either one.
He's like, I'll put either one on my list.
Yeah, and then the third one,
Three from Hell.
I haven't seen that one either.
It's his worst film.
Worse than 31?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. I didn't watch 31, but I hear that one's pretty bad. So okay.
So I love his Halloween, but I hate his first half hour of that movie. After that, because of that reason, it's a lot of the same stuff that he has in all of his other movies. But after you get past his whole childhood part, it's good. But so I would
say I like that one.
That's the only Halloween movie that I do like. And I like it because of the background story and everything to it. Not that I like the grunge, nasty, grimy, I don't know. But it gives purpose to the movie. It gives a background, it gives story and understanding.
It's so over the top though. I don't think people actually talk like this. Like even like the worst white trash people, I don't even think they talk like that.
I feel like Rob Zombie would have done a better job with like Friday the 13th or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't think Michael Myers was like the right choice for killer for him. So I don't picture Michael Myers' family acting like that. It's just like,
well, how did his family act? Like for him to be who he is as a kid?
He's just evil. He's the embodiment of evil.
No, I agree with Rob Zombie on this one. Sorry.
You see his parents in the original, like they look like stand-up people.
Yeah, so it's just ridiculous.
That's all that they're doing. They're just standing there.
I know. There's that one moment where so they have a nice house. You can't act like that in a nice house. That's just
yeah. I mean, his sister was a little promiscuous, but okay. All right. So we're going back to Cody. What's next?
Number 2 for me is going to be the Blair Witch Project. I think this is a film that completely survives on people's experience of when they thought that it was real for 5 days.
For 5 days.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm kind of biased against it because I'm not a found footage guy whatsoever. I can count on one hand how many found footage movies I've even liked, let alone loved. So that's for relevance sake that put that in there. But yeah, I've when the movie came out, it was just a lot of hype of, oh my God, did you see the movie about that they found the footage or whatever? And it was genius marketing, absolutely genius marketing. For the longest time, it was the most financially successful independent film of all time. I don't remember what surpassed it. Might have been Paranormal Activity.
But I think.
But yeah, so like nothing but accolades to that. But the movie itself, I don't think is good at all. Like I finally watched it, years ago, and it is kind of the template for most found footage films where it feels like not really a whole lot happens until the last 10 minutes. But I don't think that is excused. Like it's still very boring. I don't think it's that scary. When you know that it's not real, there's certainly a lens that you watch it through that I can't recreate the experience of those that watched it when it first was released. So I guess that's fair. But yeah, I don't get it. Even the ending, another one, just like with The Ring, where people are like, scariest ending of all time, where he's standing in the corner. I'm like, okay, whatever. I just don't get it at all. So, this is one that I've seen all the Blair Witch films. The only one that I would say I borderline like is the third one, Blair Witch. But even that one's not really my cup of tea. So, yeah, not for me, but I just think for it to be always hailed as one of the greatest horror films of all time, it's like I think the marketing campaign was one of the greatest of all time. I don't think the movie is great at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I love Blair Witch, and a big part of it is the marketing. I was one of those who fell into the marketing, really was like, oh my gosh, like totally thought this was like a real thing, and it definitely affects the way you see the movie.
Yeah.
And
I can't believe people fell for that though.
Whatever.
They're releasing that in theaters. Like,
whatever. We were young,
these
we
missing
didn't,
kids.
think about it. But either way, even still watching it, I'm like, I can still remember how, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is out. Like, and then like, are they gonna find them? I don't know, the whole hype over it it was genius marketing, and no one can ever do it again because it's done. Like, this was
back when movies like first started having like websites and stuff. So like the website was like these like missing posters and like all this, like, hey, if you have seen these people, phone numbers and stuff, and but and then it was in theaters. What? That's a little inappropriate.
How'd the footage get out?
And like maybe the detectives, like people looking for them, wanted to show the movie to see if anybody knew where they were. But I do enjoy the movie though myself. So I thought about it on the list, but
we had discussed this possibility of this movie being on the list, and I was like, well, I have my defense. But you already said my defense in your description.
So I think Joel might have that on his list. Is that true?
I don't know.
Okay, well,
I don't know. I'm not giving anything. I've only got 2 left, so I'm not giving anything away.
Right. Okay, Katrina.
Okay. I've been trying to decide over what's going to be my number 1, what's going to be my number 2. I'm going to do this as number 2 because I did need a reminder that I hate the overratedness of this one. So number 2 is, no, because you'll understand. Number 2 is Alien.
Ooh.
She's got
This is the dumbest movie, and you cannot convince me otherwise. The first one is so boring. It's like torture having to get through it.
She falls asleep in movies quite often. So
yeah, and this one is just, and if I have to like think, no, I don't. This is not fun. I'm not sitting here.
I want that on the poster. Alien, 1 star. If I have to think, ugh.
I'm not trying to sit here and be a scientist, and it's so just too much.
The like language and like all the technology and stuff, like trying to kind of get through that and understand that, I think is kind of what you're talking about.
Care about understanding it. Like, I don't have any care about sitting here trying to like be at your top scientific level. Like, no, it's not scary. It's not like, I have no care for it.
Yeah.
And every time an alien movie comes out, people are like, oh, alien, oh my gosh.
Well, to be fair, you hated Alien Romulus because they didn't mention Earth once in the movie.
Yes,
right?
Because it's like, okay, oh my gosh.
Say the word Earth.
It's just too much. And all of it
But
is
you might
just
like Alien Earth.
so overhyped. Like, people freak out every time an alien movie comes out. And it's like, are we over this yet?
No.
Yeah,
especially not now.
No.
They're just getting good again. So.
Right.
They're getting good again. Alien Romulus was like,
no.
So I got to see Alien Romulus. I was in the first audience to see that one. And when they did say it's the new Alien movie, the whole crowd, because it was like a secret screening or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, and I wasn't like that big of a fan of Alien, but I did love that movie. And then went and watched the first two, and I did like those. So can't get on board with you.
And then he made it sound, he's like, well, I think you're at least going to like this one.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, what?
The characters. I thought you were gonna like the characters. Like the relationship with the
brother.
The brother, yeah.
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
It was fine, but like not that. And it's so long. Oh my gosh. Get me out of here.
All right. All right, Joel, what do you got next?
All right. My number 2 is The Birds.
Birds.
Yeah.
That's an interesting
I love Alfred Hitchcock. I've always loved his movies. The Birds is incredibly overrated. It's on everyone's top 3 list of Alfred Hitchcock. I think it's one of 3 that people actually know. That's why they put it on there. But I don't hate the movie. I like it. It's just it's not that great of a movie as far as how everyone feels about it. Like it's right behind Psycho or right in front of Psycho, however you feel about that movie. And even Psycho is a little overrated for Hitchcock. But yeah, so The Birds, I'm not that big of a fan.
Katrina thinks that movie is so scary.
Oh.
She's afraid of birds now because of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's maybe top 10 Alfred Hitchcock. It's not a top 3 or 5.
So my feeling is it's with its time. Like it.
So it's Alien.
Oh please.
So it's Texas Chainsaw
Massacre. But it is. Yeah, I don't know. Because I had wondered, is it overhyped or am I like over exaggerating how crazy this movie is? But no, we rewatched it and to do a review and everything. And no, it is. Oh my gosh.
I think that review might be on Patreon only. So if you want a bigger discussion on that one, then go over there to check it out. Because yeah, it was an interesting conversation. It's always interesting to talk about a movie that was, is so old, but is considered kind of like a classic horror film, to kind of try to put yourself there and then look at it at modern lens too. I feel like you can either like think it's really lame or you can appreciate the value of it. And
yeah,
I can appreciate it. I just, it's overrated as far as how the fans typically have felt over the years about it.
Yeah.
It's not a top 3 Hitchcock
it
movie.
Freaks me out.
Yeah, it does.
If I see a swarm of birds, I'm like, okay, we need to get out of here, guys. This is not a safe place to be.
Those fake birds are gonna come and get you in the telephone booth. That looks so dumb. It looks so bad.
Oh gosh. No.
But I get it. For the time. Okay. So I'm next. Number 2, Friday the 13th. It's just like a B C-level slasher whodunit. I don't get how that movie spawned a franchise. I think I don't get it. It's not a good movie. It's boring. The reveal is like, okay, who cares? Like, this is a character that we don't even know in the movie. So usually a whodunit's like this twist, like, oh, it's one of those characters and why and the motive and everything. And it's like, okay, so I don't know. It's like it doesn't have that same impact that a whodunit should have. And I don't get it. Later in the franchise, we went through the whole franchise earlier this year, like beginning of the year, and it has some merit. There's a few that I actually really enjoyed, but this first one, I don't get it. I will never watch it again because it's just like it has zero value to me. It's not like I hated it, but I mean, how did this get a 13 movie franchise? Like, okay. I mean, Jason became the face of it, but he wasn't even really in it. I mean, he's a child at the end, but that's it.
We don't get the Jason that we know today till like the third movie. It's like, we get Baghead Jason in the second one, and not even like the full movie. So,
it's a really interesting franchise in that sense. So, there you go. Okay. Friday the 13th.
Good job.
Cody, number one,
Friday the 13th, 1980.
Nice.
All right.
Of all the movies, like every movie on this list, I'm like, I can appreciate it, I can respect it on some degree. It's either just not for me, or I find it to be just overrated, as the title of the video is. Friday the 13th, I just think sucks. I don't understand it. Like, and I gaslit the hell out of myself for a while there, thinking that I was the problem. Like, I don't know, maybe I just didn't grow up with it, and I guess I'll give it more credit than I think it deserves because it's a classic that started a franchise. And then the most recent time that I watched it, I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done trying to appease people. This movie's just terrible. Now, like, you have a couple of things here. Yes, Tom Savini's gore effects, great. Manfredini's score, great. Pamela Voorhees, at least the performance by Betsy Palmer in the last 10 minutes, great. Everything else, and Kevin Bacon. I love Kevin Bacon, so he's in there. We'll give a point for that. But it's a movie that they've admitted, even though some fans for some reason like to argue this and say that it's not a problem. Like it's baked into the legacy of the film. They literally just said, hey, that movie Halloween, it's succeeding, rip that off. Just write some generic knockoff of it. That's the origin of Friday the 13th. It's extremely cheaply made. I mean, there's a number of things in the film with the way that it's shot, with it feels very amateurish in almost every single way. There's so much padding in the movie. They had like 40 minutes of story, if I'm being generous, and they padded it out to 90 minutes. There's a whole segment where they're chasing and they kill a snake because we need something to do. There's a whole spot where two characters go off, and like, if I remember the shot correctly, you don't even hear what they're talking about. They're just walking on this little pier, and they go off in the distance and they stand. And it's like a whole 60, 80-second scene where you're just watching them just go off to the water and stand there. You have Alice in the third act, right when it seems like everybody's dead. Like, oh my God, we're supposed to be at the height of tension right now. Let me go make coffee for 5 minutes. And you have a whodunit that doesn't understand the rules of a whodunit, which is you have to actually lay breadcrumbs throughout the film so the audience can at least try to participate in the mystery. And they don't do that at all. It's just the last 10 minutes are like, here's the killer. And, I got a buddy of mine, Charles, who's a massive Friday the 13th fan. And the more he tries to defend this movie and explain why people just don't understand the foreshadowing with the Jeep and everything, it makes me hate it even more. Because I'm like, dude, if it was a filmmaker that had any competence, if they want you to focus on the Jeep, the camera would focus on the Jeep. The camera would tell you as a viewer, this is significant, instead of you having to be like, I think I see a Camp Crystal Lake logo somewhere in there obscured. I mean, it's like you. I don't I'm glad that it spawned the franchise because there's a number of them that I do really enjoy, but I don't understand why. I don't get it. And for as much as some fans will try to defend this, you ask Friday the 13th fans, like, what's your favorite Friday the 13th film? I've never heard somebody say the first one, ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a movie that just, no.
There's a long Monopoly portion to the, like, strip Monopoly or whatever. It's like, what are we doing? Who cares? Like, can we get back to who's killing people?
Yep.
So, obviously, I agree.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
My number one is Friday the 13th.
Wow.
Just retitle the video. Fuck Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th and other overrated horror.
Yeah.
You guys said it well. I will say the overuse of having to show naked women, like shirtless women, like it was ridiculous.
That was the appeal, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Of the appeal.
Yeah, that's why people like it.
Yeah.
You're
Back in the 80s.
You're a scummy person if you're like, oh, this movie's amazing. Yeah, I know
Naked
what
people.
you watched on your private.
Was that a big part of the original? I don't remember that being like
That's just
big
what
part of
Friday the 13th does in all. Ugh, I just hate those movies altogether. Jason is stupid. The first one doesn't even have him, and so it's just completely dumb.
Okay.
And it shouldn't have spawned a whole entire thing. I agree. I can't stand it.
Okay.
I think The Burning, which we reviewed a couple years ago, was a better movie than Friday the 13th. I would have loved a franchise of that instead of Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that's due for a remake. That would be cool to see a remake of that one.
Well, even what was that one movie that people like did not like and thought was so boring? That was like I don't think
Camp
Joel.
Slasher?
No, I don't think Joel liked it either. It was like the one that was in the festivals.
I don't know.
The one where he's like just like walking around and everyone's like, "Oh, it's inspired
In a Violent
by
Nature."
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I never saw it. Actually.
To me, I thought, oh, okay. Well, to me, I thought that one was better than like any Friday the 13th movies. I can appreciate that one. It wasn't just, I don't know, dirty and stupid and and ridiculous. It was actually, to me, I feel like it was artistic and it was I don't know. I like that one better.
Yeah. I'm kind of like mixed on that one, but I am excited to see what they do with the sequel for sure. Okay. Joel, what's your number one?
My number one is the Blair Witch Project.
Ah.
It's been talked about. Didn't want to say anything because it's my number one, and I'm with you on that, Cody. It's one of those things where you kind of have to be there to really like kind of appreciate. I guess like the time. The marketing was really good. I remember it being on the news about this like whole thing, and it's like, you guys are doing way too much for this. Mentioning it on the news that these
I wonder if the anchors thought it was real, because I do remember it on the news too.
I really think they did. I think that we were all convinced.
The idea has never been done before. Like that I can appreciate. I do love found footage movies. I'm not a fan of this one. I think this is my least favorite of the found footage movies that I've seen, but I can appreciate it kind of opening up a new subgenre of horror. I still think Cloverfield's the best one in that genre, but yeah, the hype was too much, and everyone, losing their minds about it.
People want to put puking in the theater. I think that was more for the motion sickness, but yeah.
I kind of want to put Paranormal Activity with it, just because people were just as annoying with that one. I remember seeing at least one of them in theaters, and the amount of people screaming and losing their minds over a door slightly opening was ridiculous.
Yeah. I think Paranormal Activity, I would say, is more overhyped than Blair Witch, but that's just because I love Blair Witch and I fell into the hype of it.
Paranormal Activity didn't make the news.
Yeah, because it was
I think once you get to that,
yeah, because you knew it was a movie. You knew it was just fake.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, guys, chill out.
Yeah.
Like, but I do like the movies. So.
All right, my number one is this might be the hottest take, by the way.
Okay.
Especially for Cody. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. I have watched this movie many times.
What the fuck is that?
I've watched it a lot. I think what I don't like about it is I don't like the mix of the evil, scary Freddy and the comedy that they try to go for. I want more comedic Freddy or scary. And this one they try to do both, and I just didn't think it worked as well. The effects and everything, of course, all the Nightmare on Elm Street films have. That's awesome. I can appreciate that. The whole welcome to prime time, that's classic. I like that part. I don't like the dream powers. It's silly to me. I get the concept of you're in a dream, you can do whatever, but I don't think that the way that they did it, it was too corny to me. And especially the wizard guy, like, no, I didn't like that. Being able to pull people into your dream, I thought I can understand being able to do whatever in your own dream, but pulling others into your dream, I don't know about that. I did like, that they brought Nancy back. I did like the whole Hypnosil thing that they then brought back in Freddy versus Jason. I thought that was a cool connection, but I like Freddy versus Jason way more. Yeah, and everybody that's a Nightmare on Elm Street fan, that's like, I would say the majority of the people put that top 2. And it would be in the, not like the worst, but it would be in the bottom half of my ranking. We reviewed the whole franchise and we did a ranking, so might have to go back to that. I might have put it at the bottom. I don't remember, but just because I don't get it. And I didn't watch these movies as a child growing up, so again, maybe you had to be there. The music is cool. I can appreciate that. I like rock and metal, so the soundtrack is pretty cool. But yeah, the mix of the comedy, it's kind of like Evil Dead for me. Like Evil Dead 2 is a mix, and that's like my least favorite.
That's the best one.
That's my least favorite.
Yeah, I agree with you on Evil Dead.
Okay. Yeah, and then Freddy's mix just didn't work for me. So I'd rather watch a scarier or a more comedic Freddy. So there you go.
Well,
Okay.
if I shit blood later today, it's because of that segment.
I love Freddy, but yeah, that
you got him up there, don't you?
Yeah, he's over here.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh yeah.
Even when we were discussing doing this list, I was like, you can't put Freddy anywhere on the list, and then bam, look at you, number 1.
That was revenge for the Halloween franchise.
Yeah, I was like, Cody's probably gonna say Halloween, and you're gonna say Halloween, so I'm gonna find one.
Yeah, but you put yours all the way at the top.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I get it if if that's the mix it works for you. It doesn't work for me, and I definitely don't like the dream powers.
All three of the top 3 horror franchises have been mentioned.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, when you have
one undeservedly so.
See, I think like just Freddy Krueger in general is just like such like just so scary, and like the whole like dream thing, like it's a dream. So yeah, there are dream powers, like because you're
but the way they do it, it's like Goosebumps or like Harry Potter or something. Like I don't know.
Goosebumps or Harry Potter.
Like because there's the wizard guy and there's the guy who can the strong guy and he's bursting through walls and stuff, and then the I don't even know, the girl with the knives and Maybe I would have liked it if they did a better job with that stuff, but I didn't like that stuff.
I don't know if Cody's coming back on our show anymore.
Let's move on.
I mean, Cody, let's hear why you, because I know it's your favorite of the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that was the one time that they nailed the mix. Like, if I had to pick one, I would prefer scary, dark Freddy over comedic Freddy. I do have some love for the fourth one, some nostalgia, but going forward after 3, they always tried to have a mix, and they never got the mix right. Even Freddy vs. Jason that I love, it leans much more comedic just because that's an inherently silly film. Dream Warriors to me was the one time where it's like Freddy's going to be comedic, but it's so twisted. And it's such dark humor that it never loses sight of how evil he is when he's cracking jokes or he's making one-liners. And as far as the powers and everything, I think some of that's just a product of its time, mid 80s or whatever, what we consider silly now. I mean, if you look at most 80s films, they probably seem silly. But I mean, with the Wizard Master, like, I get on paper that one's pretty over the top, but it also gets paid off on he gets killed instantly. Like he thinks he's this badass, and Freddy's like, bitch. It's nothing. I think Kincaid is great. Like, I don't know if we're gonna have dream powers, I don't know where else you go from the directions that they went. That's like a much more plausible version. I think it's a nice little reverse of Nancy's power in the first one, where she can pull people out of her dream, and Kristen has the reverse where she can pull people into her dream. So I don't think one can be kind of viewed as ridiculous if the other one isn't. That would be my defense for that. And I don't know, Dream Warriors to me is like the most entertaining one because it still holds on to a lot of what I love about the first one, but it does such a great job at advancing the lore and making Freddy more powerful, explaining why he's more powerful, having the souls of the children in his skin, and he's leveled up like crazy in that one. And canonically, you're not really supposed to count the second film, but even the second film, the attempts it made to do something different, I mean, it took 40 years for people to start kind of appreciating it. So I don't know. I respectfully disagree, but but I mean, to say that it's the worst or in the bottom half when there's some rough Nightmare on Elm Street films, that's a little tough for me to sit and understand.
It's the one that I'll watch the least often. Like I said, I've seen it a number of times. It's not like I watched it once and I'm like, I hate that movie. And mostly I've watched it a number of times just because I've tried to enjoy it more.
Keep trying.
As far as keep trying, as far as overrated, that's kind of where this one lands because of how people hold it in such high regard, and I think it's okay. So okay, that's where I'm sticking my flag.
All right.
Okay, so Joel, you had an honorable mention. Let's do that real quick before we
do. So I for a couple of these I kind of cheated. I googled like the top 200 best horror movies of all time, and according to Rotten Tomatoes, which that with a grain of salt with that website. And this movie was on there. There were a couple movies in this franchise. It's a franchise I love. It's a Scream franchise. There were two movies in that franchise that made the top 200 of all time. Scream being one of them, which I understand. That's fine. But Scream 6 was the other one. And really? Yeah. I mean, it's towards the bottom of the list, but it's still in the top 200 of all time. And I'm like, no, this is not acceptable. I remember how many people loved it. Loved it when it came out. It was like on a lot of people's like top, like it was like, you know, it was Scream 1 and then like Scream 6 pretty much. And I'm just like, I don't hate the movie. I still think I think 3 is my least favorite, but it's down there. It's like, it's probably right in front of Scream 3. And so, yeah, I had to at least mention it because I saw it on there. I was like, this is not okay.
Is that the only other Scream film?
Yeah. It's Scream 1 and Scream 6 are the only ones that are on the list.
Tomatoes.
Were they arranged? Were they arranged by the critic rating, or how was it?
It was arranged by by critic rating.
Huh.
So yeah.
It
was like 196, 197. It was down there, but it was still on the top 200.
Yeah, some of those it's very weird because like you have a lot of older and classic horror films that just don't have a lot of reviews because Rotten Tomatoes didn't exist then. So you get a movie like Scream 6 where with the amount of people who are Rotten Tomatoes certified now, there's 20 times the amount of reviews as Scream 1 or Scream 2, and so it always throws stuff off. I don't know. Like I'm on Rotten Tomatoes, and there's definitely a lot of ways that I think that website gets misused. But that's whenever they try to aggregate it that way and make lists based, it's so weird because everything is so skewed. I mean, you'll look at The Shining, and I bet it has less reviews than Scream 6.
Yeah.
Shining was on the list, so like a lot of like the classics are on that list. It's just Scream 6 is also on the list, and it doesn't belong on that list.
What the heck? Okay. Yeah,
absolutely. It doesn't belong in the top 500 horror movies.
Yeah. Okay, Katrina, you had an honorable, right?
Well, I don't care about talking about the like original honorables. I'll just say if this movie, like with the newer movies, the movie that I think got way overrated and too much hype and people love way too much is Smile.
Smile or Smile 2? Or
well,
both
of them.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with Smile 2. But...
And
I did like the first one quite a bit.
Yeah, but it just to the amount of hype that it got, it
had a good marketing too.
Yeah,
it had good marketing.
Yeah, and it was annoying. Yeah. Whatever. It was. I've talked about it many times.
Oh, no,
So everyone knows my opinion.
I feel like I think you would have felt differently if you hadn't seen the trailer for it, because that's why. If you like the trailer, well, we reviewed that movie. So hopefully
the theater is what ruined it. When I see it at home, it's much better. It's the theater that ruined it. The sound in the theater was the worst.
Yeah, she really grabs on to like certain elements of movies, and then she just disregards the whole movie.
Because I don't like when they're trying to scare me. Like, don't try to scare me. Be an actual scary movie. If you're actually scary, then okay, that's how you're gonna get people scared. Don't try to scare me with the sounds that you're doing. Like if you have to do these booming sounds because I'm opening a can of cat food, then it's not scary. You're just trying to scare me
with loud noises.
Just because you're trying to make me jump doesn't mean I'm actually scared. You just made me jump.
Yeah.
You got my heart rate going because you made me jump. Not because
loud
it's actually scary.
So I can appreciate that for other movies, but not for Smile.
But Smile 2 was like, oh my gosh. just a
that one
Voss
was overrated.
commercial, Voss water commercial.
All right, cool. Well, there you go. There's all the overrated horror films. Some agreed upon, some not. But these are the lists. These are the definitive lists. You cannot argue with us.
No arguing.
You can argue with Danny.
Yeah. So if you do want to argue, then you can do that in the comments. And we will respond to you, of course. And make sure you go to Cody Leach's YouTube and subscribe there, and follow him on his social media sites, which we'll put the links to in the description. And that's it.
And this has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let Cody Leach bite.
Ah.